Hello, I am so happy to be here with you today. I want to talk about a phrase. Oh, this is episode 68. I want to talk about a phrase. If I said to you, the delusion of personal autonomy, there are three super important words here: delusion, personal, and autonomy. Now, people in spiritual communities, especially New Thought, which includes more than A Course in Miracles, even people in non-dual communities, they struggle. People struggle with the ego. In some traditions, it's called whether or not the person is real. Oh my God, people get lost. Of course it's real. It feels real. I know it's real. It's my experience. What are you talking about? And people shut down. They don't get what is possible. So I've talked about this in many different ways. You can't really talk about this enough, I think, because we're all subject to a kind of hypnosis. And the hypnosis is all about what are we and what to make of our experience. We are definitely having an experience. Now, the Course makes a big deal, and so do other traditions, that we're not separate people. But then the Course, because it speaks to us on many levels, goes on to talk to an individual, and it tells us to look for love instead of fear, choose again. And it tells us things about our body. It has to start there. I want to talk also about levels of consciousness in a much simpler way than the honored Ken Wapnick, and even more simple than David Hawkins. I would say there's the level of thinking and feeling from a personal self who's autonomous. Even when we get it in our brains while we're listening to a teacher or we're in meditation, that the personal self is our interpretation of our experience. We've been taught this since we were tiny, teeny. Parents believe they're your people and they're attached to you, but you are separate from them, and so on and so forth. We become identified with our name even more than our personhood. I don't have to tell you this. You know all this. But I want to say there are two levels. The one that I just spoke of, where no matter what you learn in your small mind, you still go back to thinking of yourself, feeling of yourself as the separate personal being who is autonomous. The Course talks a lot about this being delusional, about this being idolization. And then as we're adults, we're taught to do more, be more, have more. Books and books and books are out there. Coaches are making thousands and thousands of dollars off of mindset strategies to help you get more, be more, do more, make an impact, have more. And the suggestion is you'll love yourself more. And I'm saying, if there is no personal self, if we are what science says we are, bundles of united energy appearing for a while in separate bundles, but we go back to what we call eternity or the quantum field. We're just localized for a while. Now, I say from personal experience that we're on a different level, not higher than anyone, not lower, but different. We don't have exactly the right words, but we're on a different level. So let's call it, for the sake of argument, a higher level, only because it feels so relieving. It feels so sweet. The absence of suffering is there, but we are not zoned out like, in your meditative state where you kind of have to come back. You're actually quite alert. It's just that where you're speaking from is more the I don't know place. And when you know you're coming from that movement, it takes away the autonomy. And that autonomy, I'm saying today, is two things. It costs you because it means you believe you make things happen and you are the cause, you're God, and it's a delusion. Now, the important word about delusion is that delusions, for them to be delusions, means it feels real. If somebody is a paranoid schizophrenic, they have to truly believe and operate from somebody is after them. It's not a passing thought. It's not a fear. It's not a concern. All those words have some doubt. But there's no doubt when you're hypnotized or delusional. I want to refer today to a section of A Course in Miracles, which would be chapter 4 of the text, the ego and false autonomy, it is anatomy as well. And if we look at paragraph 4 in section 2, it says, now I'm prefacing this, that many of us with egos and beliefs in separate selves believe that we don't like ourselves, that we're not good enough, that we have a lot of guilt. Certainly doesn't feel that great for most of us. But we don't admit to how much we're in love with ourselves. We do everything to hold on to this identity, even though it could kill us, and sometimes does. People commit suicide because their egos hurt so badly. But A Course says we create our egos. No one, it says, dismisses, and what they mean is gets rid of something he or she considers part of herself. You react to your ego, it says here, much as God does to his creations, with love, with protection and charity. I don't know about the charity, but maybe what they mean is we give ourselves a special deal. Sometimes we blame other people, but when we blame other people, we're taking ourselves off the hook. Your reactions to the self you made are not surprising. In fact, they resemble in many ways how you will one day react to your real creations, which are as timeless as you are. The question is not how you respond to the ego, but what you believe you are. Belief is an ego function. And as long as your origin is open to belief, you are regarding it from an ego viewpoint. So remember what we've been taught by our good friend Dove. Belief has the word lie right in the middle. So just because we believe we're real, separate people, doesn't mean it's true. So it all comes back once again to the question of what are we? Why does it matter? It's not about winning an argument or a mindset or a thought process. It's about our point of viewing. If we are going to view ourselves as a personal being, a personal doing, because we really won't be into our being. When we're the personal self, we're a doing machine. That's why the Course spends so much time quieting us, teaching us to pause, teaching us about the space between thoughts and feelings, the emptiness. Be still and come with wholly empty arms, wholly empty thoughts, wholly empty person. People always say, well, then why would anything get done in the world? You still will move, but you're not coming from your autonomy. Everything still happens in the world. It's just that you don't take credit or blame. Where do we go from here? That's a good question, isn't it? Let's take a moment of meditation. Let's start out as the personal self, as the autonomous one. The only way I think, I don't really know, because the only way I got to a different point of viewing was when my precious Melissa was considered dead. If I stay the personal self, she's gone and I've lost her. If I go to where she is, a nameless place, come with me. Imagine your beloved is gone. Some of you have had great loss, a wife, a child. Many of us have lost parents. Somehow parents don't do the same impact on us in general. because most of the time we expect our parents to go. So it doesn't have this, usually doesn't have the same awakening power. What do I mean by that? And where is Melissa? Where would I go to? I go to that nameless pet place that's not in a body. It's not my body or her body. It's that expansive place. So go with me. Imagine the horror, the pain when a personal self, quote unquote, loses a beloved. It's excruciating. Take that excruciating pain and leave that personal self and go to anywhere you imagine that dead person went. Not a location, preferably. I don't know. Let's see if you were a Catholic or maybe a Jew and you believe there was a heaven. Go there. You don't really know that you can't go there without dying. When you are in that excruciating pain, you don't really care if it takes dying. The answer is yes. But it turns out you can go without dying. So, what if you were to live from this place of union, this placeless place, this expanse that has no words, it's wordless, but it's not full of suffering because it's not full of thoughts and lists and doing, and all the doing is limited, it's time limited. This place I'm going has no boundaries. It has no limits. But it also wants and needs nothing. How would that be for you if you were in this place with your beloved instead of that excruciating pain? Wouldn't it be lovely if you brought that freedom, that expansiveness to your work, to your friendships, to cleaning the house? Isn't that what they meant when they had a book called Chop Wood, Carry Water? Isn't that what presence is? There's no story. There's no tomorrow that you're working on today. There's no past that's hurting you. There's no loss. There's no gain. There's no getting. There's no fixing. How would that be for you? Did you notice if you went with me to your Melissa, your version of Melissa, that it stopped being Melissa and I? It was just oneness. When you need nothing and you want nothing, the personal self just disappears. It's even deeper than surrender, because surrender, there's a person and there's a God, or there's a universe, or there's an other. This is what non-duality is. There aren't two. There's only the one. We join in oneness. The good news here is that from this place, we're open to whatever happens. We can be moved without feeling it's my action. We just do what is next for us to do. Time to go to work, we go to work. Time to show up for someone, we go. That sense of my group, my husband, my purse, all those my's are temporary. They're appearances. They appear. But what if reality isn't the solid world that is always changing? What if reality is actually mixed up with, it's the opposite of what we thought was real? This empty, expanded space. It's the opposite of what we were taught. What if? If you are enjoying my life, my children, my sport, my meditation, my house, keep on enjoying it. Stay at the level, if you can acknowledge it, that you're enjoying the my. And know that there is another level. Sometimes it happens when we weren't looking for it, like it was for me. And other times, it will come to you out of seeking when the suffering with all the my get too much. I know someone who took his life recently because he experienced that personal autonomy in such a painful way, because his finances were not acceptable to take care of his family. He took his own life. There was another opportunity, though, for someone else. If he was to take his life, it would only be the temporary manifestation of that body. And from the non-dual, everything that happens is supposed to happen. We're in charge of nothing because there is no personal self. What a relief that is. I think our time is just about up. I would like to end our class this way. It's not really a class. I'm used to giving classes. It's our gathering. It's our time to be private and personal together, even though there is nothing private, because all minds are joined. And there are no mistakes. Even that word, I was supposed to say that word. Perhaps to let you know there are classes. There is a free class on Mondays about non-duality, and you're welcome to join. You can email me at rosalindrourke@comcast.com if you would like to be invited. So let's end our time together with this short saying, may truth be revealed. Let love prevail. May truth be revealed. Let love prevail. Let truth be revealed. Let love prevail. And you know this expression, namaste, without cultural appropriation. Let's just learn from what the meaning of that is. Instead of our seeing each other as personal egos, as personal separate selves, what about if we see the perfection of the universe in each being? Namaste. I see it in you. Bye-bye. Until next time.